Welcome to musicstudios.co.nz. I am Ralphie, your host today, and we have Martin at Tamara Sound Studios. Welcome to part 2. We've just done the interview, and here is the wonderful studio that you can hire in the heart of Devonport.
Yeah.
Awesome. Show us around, please.
Okay, well, this is my space.
Yep.
I've spent quite a bit of money getting the acoustic conditioning just so. I think it's not bad now.
Yeah.
I can record full bands in here live and get a very good result. I'm very happy with the results we get here with a full band, and do overdubs and all the rest of it. We do have another vocal booth through into the other room, which I've started using, which gives us complete isolation for doing vocals and for voiceovers or whatever. Which is quite good. This is the heart. This is the heart of it all.
Show us around. What's it sort of centered?
Yep, it's centered on the Apogee ensemble, which is my main audio interface.
Right. Cool.
I did start out with a Focusrite Sapphire Pro 40 and an Octave Pre. I pretty much use them exclusively as just line-ins now. So the main mic pre's that I use the mic pre's that are on the Apogee, which are really clear, clean mic pre's. And I'm very fond of the warm audio gear.
Hence the t-shirt. Yeah.
So I've got...
Hi, warm audio. Like this video, warm audio. Or tag warm audio and tell them to like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, they're good.
So I've got the WA412, which is a 4-channel mic pre, which is sort of based around the API console pre's.
Nice.
And that's great. You can do some cool stuff with that. And I also use this quite cheap unit, which is the Art DPS2, which is a little tube pre, and I really like it.
Is it true that the left and right is kind of mirrored?
Yeah, that is a pain in the ass. Actually,
weird, right?
Yeah, it is. It's a nuisance.
So rather than minimum left, maximum right, it does that on the left, but on the right, it's the opposite.
The minimum and maximum are the same. It's just that the knobs are all mirrored.
Oh,
so you get that gain. That's gain.
Yeah,
and that's gain.
Yeah,
and that's output, and that's output.
Oh, gotcha. Like and so, the knob that must throw you off a little bit.
It does. It's mainly those two things.
Yeah.
If they could have just switched them around, it would have been
right.
It would have been so much better. But anyway, it works well, and you can get some nice tones out of it.
Okay.
I use that quite often for acoustic guitar, but often for vocals as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Cool. So that's them in pre's. I've got a bit of outboard gear as well. I've got a couple of
compressors.
Yeah, they've got the
DBX
1066 and the 260. This is quite cheap.
Why two different types? I mean,
I bought this one first, which is a cheapish one. It works, but it's not great.
Yeah,
and I do use this is a much higher quality unit, the 1066.
Is it?
I was going to get the 160, which is a single channel, which is probably about the same price as the double channel one of these, but it serves my purposes. I pretty much exclusively use that for my kick and snare.
Right. Okay.
For recording.
So what pre are you feeding before that though?
I'm going through the
Apogee as well, or the warm stuff? Or?
No, I'm using this is my kick and snare. That's my kick input and the snare.
Right.
So I send this. I have this patch bay here, which allows me to route to any of my outboard gear.
Right.
So this is the WA412. So that's the out from this
pre's,
into the 1066, and then out and back in again.
Yeah.
Same for the snare.
Cool. Is there a mix knob or something? How do you make sure that you've got just the right amount of
well, I can control the output from here. So I just set I set the thing. I usually actually just put it on auto, and then I just control the threshold and the output. I keep that then comes in into the Focusrite Octave Pre. So these two channels here, this set at about 3.5 is about unity gain.
Right.
So all these channels on the Focusrite gear are all roughly set on unity gain. So I'm not using the pre's on there. I'm using jacks, which makes it so it's bypassing the preamp, the mic pre-circuit. So it just gives a direct line in. Seems to work okay.
Cool.
I've also got a bunch of warm audio gear here, which I use all the time.
Some Pultec stuff.
I got some
LAs.
Pultec, yeah. So a couple of Pultecs.
76, yep.
I use these for
Are
loads
they-
of things.
You like what? Like, how do you use that tube EQ? Because that's fascinated me.
I use it for the most recently. I've been using it for vocals, and I'll just use it for cutting low end, so just for getting rid of low end hum. So basically high passing. But just going through that circuit actually gives it something
Really?
surprising. It gives
Does it
it
thicken it or?
it gives it a certain something.
Right.
Yeah. So I use it for various, and I also quite often, if I'm doing a mix down, I'll send out my final
Your
mix
final mix through that.
through
that's
those,
interesting.
and,
Yep.
and then back in again.
And then back in again.
Yeah. Yeah. I use
That makes
these.
me want one now.
I use these two things mainly for vocals, quite often in series.
Yeah.
For lead vocals. This is the clone of the old LA2A.
Is it quite clean and clinical, or does it have its own?
No. This
character?
is a tube pre, which a tube compressor, which.
So do you hear a slight hiss kind of thing?
No, it's really quiet.
Yeah. All right.
But it gives it adds a warmth.
It does.
Definitely adds a warmth to it. Same with the 1176 clone, the WA76.
The reason why, this is all great, but the reason why I just want one of these tube EQs is because I know I use Pultec EQs on as a VST plugin.
Yes,
I some of the UAD stuff.
Yes, same.
And I just found that it kind of thickened it.
It does.
But the fact that you've got it hands-on, and I love the fact that you send your stereo through that as well. Because that sounds interesting.
Yeah,
so
no,
that's cool.
It's great. Yeah. And I've got this is my
Awesome.
this is my headphone mixers. So this is just a headphone preamp which I send out.
Does it send out to other areas like maybe your drums or something?
Yeah, so I've got a headphone set over by the drums. I've got headphones.
Okay,
set
cool.
over
So
there,
they can just
and I've got a couple of sets
ask
here.
for different
And I've
levels,
also got a headphone in the other room where that.
Do you mind if we check that out a bit later?
Sure.
The vocal room?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay,
It's
cool.
just a
remind
wardrobe.
me.
It's
Yeah,
just a
okay. Well,
wardrobe, yeah.
be good.
Yeah.
Maybe you can just insert here through magic of video.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Francis does a great job behind.
Sure he does.
Behind the camera.
Some. Yeah, great.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
Lovely warm stuff.
Yeah.
What's this microphone here? Audio Technica?
Yeah, this is just a AT2020, which is just a cheap condenser. I have that set up all the time, just so that if I've got an idea or somebody has an idea, I can just switch it on.
Switch
it's
it on
just
and
there.
it's there.
It just records whatever's happening. So,
Good idea. That's a good idea.
If we've been sat jamming.
I mean, that's the last thing you want to do is, especially
Start
if
messing
you're
about.
especially because you've got work with a lot of singer-songwriters. I find as a singer-songwriter myself, you just have those moments where you're like, I have something, where's the microphone?
Yeah.
Here it is.
That's right, yeah.
Ready to go.
Yeah, it does the job.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's right.
That's great. I'm very interested in the Wave Station. You play keyboards?
Not really. This, interesting story about this. I wanted a keyboard. I was just going to buy a MIDI keyboard, and I was looking at MIDI keyboards, and I was looking on Trade Me, and I saw that, and it said that it was not really working, and it was really old because I think it's from the early 90s. Yeah. And I went and bought it on Trade Me. I think I paid $250 for it.
Whoa, not bad.
Not bad. And I got it home, and all the keys were all sticky. And
I was going to ask if it had sticky.
And it worked basically, but it didn't. So what I did is I completely stripped it down. I took it all apart, took the circuit boards out, took all the keys off it.
Yeah.
I dropped all the keys into a bucket of soapy water, scrubbed them all, got some silicone grease, put it all back together again, put some new batteries in it, and then I used SysX, and I managed to get the original factory presets off the internet and then used Sysex to load it up through a MIDI to reset the whole thing. It actually came with the cards. These cards still operate, the old ROM cards on the back.
That sounds like an excellent side hustle, Martin. If there's any broken keyboards, just send them to Martin.
No, I don't know if I'd do it again. It took
It'd probably
ages.
take ages. I did manage to save a Nord lead from a thrift store for kind of a similar situation.
Yes.
The keys weren't working, but yeah, they told me that Nord fixed it by dipping it in some sort of liquid thing, and then. Oh, and the other problem with it was automatically changing presets for some reason, like after 3 or 4 seconds. But yeah, just soaking it in on the stuff.
That's right.
Just kind of fixed it, and it was awesome.
Yeah, well, that works absolutely perfectly now. I keep it here. There's a stand for it here, and it gets set up if it's needed. But
so repairing, other than time-wise, I mean, did that cost much?
Didn't cost me anything.
Didn't. Wow.
No, it didn't. I never spent anything.
That is
after
the
I got
best.
it.
That is the best 250 invested.
It was great, yeah, because they were quite a bit.
And everything works.
Everything works on it
Amazing.
perfectly, yeah.
Amazing.
And it even came with the original manuals, which was interesting. So I actually learned how to program the wave station, do the wave programming, which is a bit of an art form in its own right.
Yes.
There's a lot to it.
Yes.
But it's a great unit.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Interesting. Nice Ibanez guitar there, obviously.
Yeah.
Pick it up as you go.
Yeah.
This is a new bit of kit, Machine Jam. How do you use this?
I bought this as a bit of a toy, really.
Right.
I thought it might be a good thing to get ideas down, beats and stuff, which it has. I've done a couple of little projects with it, and it's great fun. And it's basically just an interface to the Native Instruments Machine Jam Machiner software, but it allows you to create loops and
So do you use Ableton with this, or what are you using?
No, I just use Machiner. Machiner is the software.
Is the software built in?
It's basically its own DAW.
Yeah.
And you can also have a plugin for Pro Tools, a machine plugin, so you can send the whole thing to a single channel, and then you can send out from it and route.
So it's basically loops, yeah?
It's basically loops, but you can do orchestral loops with it. You can do beats.
Has it have any sounds on the software, or is it all?
There's nothing built into it. This is purely a fancy mouse. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a.
It looks
audio.
pretty.
Yeah, it does look pretty. Yeah. And it's the same with this. This
Right.
Behringer. This is a control surface.
Right.
There's nothing. This is purely for controlling whatever DAW I'm using, whether it's Pro Tools or Logic.
So it's just MIDI, yeah?
It's purely MIDI. Yeah.
That's cool though, because I find, some DAWs are excellent now.
Yes.
But
it's nice having that tactile
You can have
thing.
that tactile console
Yes,
thing.
I've always liked
rather
that.
than having just a bit of mouse and you can only tweak one thing at a time. You can be like, I love that. Yeah.
Exactly,
So you're having a lot of fun with that?
I've had this about probably 3 years, and I just use it all the time. It's just part of the workflow. Yeah.
Cool. Yep. Yeah, I'm familiar with the big knob. I actually have a variation of that, so that's just for your monitors. Tell me about your monitors a little bit, the focal stuff. Now, I hear good things about.
Yeah, these are great. I originally started with the M Audios, which are not bad little units, and I had them for years using those. Then I wanted to upgrade when I was sort of expanding a little bit, and I did a bit of online research. I didn't want to spend the earth, but I wanted to get something that was going to be accurate. And these seem to come up a lot in reviews, and I went and had a listen. It's always very difficult to know when you go into a shop. I bought these from the Rock Shop, and you go in, and even though they've got them on display, it's quite difficult to know from a single listening whether something's going to be any good or not. But I've had them about 18 months now, and absolutely over the moon with them. They're great.
That's so cool. They look really good.
And I think Dave Rhodes came down the other day, and he's thinking about buying some. He came down to listen, particularly just to listen to them, because of his new setup. I think he's getting some of them to set up in his home studio.
Well, I might get you to play a song a little bit later just to kind of check out the sound, if that's cool.
Yep.
But who built your desk, or where'd you get your desk? It's amazing.
This desk is just, I think it's made by Quicklock. It's just a off-the-shelf thing.
Oh, right.
Again, I'm plugging the Rock Shop here. I bought this from the Rock Shop. I think it's about $1,000.
So does it come with this and this for $1,000?
Yeah, and it's just got an eight rack spaces on it.
Right.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy to put together.
That's pretty
It's
amazing.
quite heavy. But,
I was going to say, sort of come in like one
it
big
came
box?
flat
or-
pack. It was flat packed.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, building desks, that's a bit of fun, hey?
Yeah, and I've got these acoustic isoacoustic units as well, which these were a little tiny bit flimsy at the end. But what I've done is I add these speaker stands, and I've jacked these speaker stands up underneath here to make that really rigid.
Really rigid.
So
Better to be safe, hey?
Yeah, but it's also you don't get any transference onto anything. You know, you don't want anything moving or
It's
or
not
vibrating.
resonating the wood or anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
What about the clouds? I mean, it looks like you've kind of built that yourself, or did you get someone coming in?
No, I did all that myself. I got all that from NZ Acoustics in Christchurch. Yeah, they were great. I mean, I've probably ordered about 5 or 6 different orders from them.
Wow, NZ Acoustics, huh?
Yeah, so I got initially I just did the clouds and I got a couple of drobos, which I usually put these drobos over here around the front of the kit.
Right.
When I'm recording, if I'm recording a live band. But then I've enhanced it some more here for mixing. I wanted to get this space. This is collapsing a little bit up there, but
That's a really interesting. So,
I just
how is it? Is it glued to your wall?
Yeah, I just got some of that spray.
That's really interesting. That's a really nice solution for some people, I think.
Yeah, and it makes a big difference.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
because when you, really, there's no
unnatural,
there's
a little bit
unwanted reverb. But
there's a little bit, but you don't want too much.
Yeah. No. Was this a window or something?
Yeah,
or
this is a door. Takes you out to the back. Yeah. So I got him.
It feels nice.
Does feel nice.
Feels like.
Yeah. So I sent some very accurate measurements. For them to just make these things for the windows, and from here, I just put little bits of card up there just to hold it in place.
A little bit of history. I don't know if you can zoom into this, but I love this sort of stuff. Is this you on a newspaper clipping or something? Or
my wife did that for me recently. Yeah, she found that.
That looks awesome. Zoom into that because
that's me there.
That's you there with the punk hair
in the background. Yeah, this is Pat Grogan.
The Pat you're talking about.
Yeah, mentioned him before.
And this is Telecom Shuffle.
That
you
was
were saying.
Telecom Shuffle. Yeah.
So this is in England.
That was back in England. Yeah. And Mark Taylor. He became very successful.
What's this actually about? Pop talent set on road to stardom.
Yeah, we got help from the council at the time. They paid for us to go in the studio and all sorts of things, and with just the promise that we'd come and do a free gig for them if it all went well. But unfortunately, we had a few hiccups along the way, and we lost. The band split up basically.
Yeah, right.
Like
you look very young there. So.
Yeah, that would have been.
What?
I would have been about 19 or 22 maybe.
What paper is this from?
That's from the Thorn Times.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Oh, I just love that sort of thing. You know, I love your pillows. Where'd you get the pillows from?
I saw them online. Yeah.
That's awesome. I want some of these. Look at that. Look at that. That looks amazing. I get easily impressed. Some nice axes on the wall there.
Yes. This is my latest acquisition, which is...
Which one, the Matein?
The Matein, yeah. I love that guitar, yeah.
Excellent.
Very nice
tell us a little bit about that guitar, the sound. What are you using that for?
I've had
Do you mind if I just have a...
You can get it down if you like, yeah.
Wow, that just
I've had the telly for
looks
quite a while.
Beautiful.
I wanted something that had got a little bit more flexibility. One of the guitarists in our band, Damon, he came to rehearsal with a Matein, and...
Sorry. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I like
I was
this.
just playing a pentatonic scale.
Yeah, I like the old.
That's
switch.
what caught
It's
my
really
eye
cool.
is the switch.
Yeah. Again, trade me. Yeah.
Right. I have the mini Mateins acoustics, so I know they're quality guitars.
Yes. Yeah.
But it just looks beautiful too. And yeah, like you were saying, the telly.
Yeah, and that's me.
Position. What position based? Do you like this? I mean, you obviously do.
Yeah, I do. I love it. Yeah.
Is it what kind of sound is that? I mean,
it's just
I've been wanting.
It's just your classic
Classic
Fender.
What
Precision,
are you pairing it with?
I run it through this Promethean rig,
Right.
and this pedal board.
So is this like a preamp kind of thing?
No,
Or a
no, this is
head?
D-type.
It's
It's a D-type head. It's
Going into
250 watts. Yeah.
cab.
Yeah, it's kicks out a bit of punch. You can put another cab on this, and it makes it a 500.
A bit loud for this, probably, Roo.
It's all right for gigging, but it's all right.
Right.
I mean, I played King's Arms with just that rig. It's plenty, you know. They DI'd it as well, but for the stage it was fine.
So for this space, for example, how are you recording your bass?
I'm DIing it
Straight from DI.
straight out.
So this gives it a bit
of
of character and control still.
yeah, and I've got my pedal boards going into that.
going in. Oh, so this is your bass pedal
Yeah.
board. Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And your tell us a little bit about these amps here.
Okay. Well, this I've only got this recently. I bought this off a friend of mine. This is a bit of New Zealand heritage.
The Jansen.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's about 1963.
Wow.
That works beautifully.
Does it?
Yeah, it's not very loud, but it's really very warm sound. A little bit compressed, but I've been thinking about taking it somewhere just to see if there's any alternate tubes that might work differently with it. Yeah.
I find recording smaller cabs actually are a little bit better because you have a little bit more control.
It's great, yeah, because you don't have to turn it up loud, and it just works really nice.
It does, yeah. No, that's cool. And this Marshall Class 5?
Yeah, the Marshall. This is not mine. This is one of the guys out of the band. Yeah, this is we rehearse in here every week, so this is basically set up for rehearsing.
Set up for rehearsing.
Same as the Vox over here.
Yep. Because how many of you rehearse here?
5.
5 there. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
2 guitarists.
2 guitars, bass, drums, and a singer. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Excellent.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And here's your drums.
Yep. Yeah, I've had these a few years now. Yeah, I bought these. I'm going to plug Rock Shop again, aren't I?
Why not?
But I bought these because I wanted a drum kit, and I've basically replaced everything I bought. It's basically started life as just a Pearl export, but I've replaced all the stands and the cymbals and everything, and yeah, works well.
It's a huge K symbol there, eh?
Yeah, I bought that from Cash Converters.
Did you?
Yeah, it's probably stolen.
I hope so. Not.
Hope not. I know.
I'm getting my words wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a Pasty 2002 series, a very old one, but it's a nice cymbal. And I got this off a friend, an old German cymbal block. Yeah.
Could you demo your drumming a little bit, even if it's just a little breakbeat loop? I just want to hear what the sound, the drums sound like in terms of you, and that's your bread and butter instrument. So.
Well, it's not really. It's actually bass now, but I can.
It's actually bass.
I can actually give you a. I won't do anything too flash, but I don't. This has not been set up for me. That'll do.
The main, I just wanted to hear. I mean, thank you for that. No, that's great. I just wanted to hear what the kit sounded like, because the first thing that comes to mind is that incredible bass sound of your kick. What is that? What is this? Is Pearl X?
Yeah, it's just a Pearl X. Yeah.
It's just so deep. It's amazing. It sounds great. But
it's got those Aquarian heads are absolutely amazing. They've been on for quite a long time as well, but. I got recommended these heads from a drum teacher some time ago, and they sound really full, very different to the heads that were on it.
I've got a little Ludwig breakbeat Questlove, little tiny thing, about probably half the thing. But do you find the bigger the kick drum, the better, or how does it work?
I don't know. Really.
Don't know. But this one sounds good.
This one sounds good, and I've kept it. Yeah,
that's great.
It does work. Yeah.
Oh wow, excellent. Yeah. What about these microphones? Are they? What brand are they?
Yeah, these are ATs, and they're the I can't remember Pro 37s.
Pro 37 Audio Technica.
Yeah, I've always I bought them through reviews. You know, quite often you try and buy something which you think is going to do a good job that's at a reasonable price. I mean, they weren't cheap, but I've never had any problems with them, and I've recorded a few things with those mics. I even record saxophone with them, and they sound great. Yeah.
You've got a little sneaky microphone in the background here too.
Yeah, this is my sort of best all-purpose mic.
This is the best one, is it?
Yeah, well, it's my most expensive mic, I should say.
But used
which is
often.
the Lewitt. It's used all the time. Yeah,
Lewitt. LCT 640 TS.
That's the one. Yeah, and the thing that you can do with this is it's so flexible. You can just use it as a normal large diaphragm condenser, or you can use it as a twin capsule condenser, which gives you a 360 recording.
That's cool.
So you can and the other thing that you can do with it, you can change the polar pattern of it after you've recorded with it.
Oh,
so
that's different.
You record it, it takes up 2 channels, and it records 360.
Yeah.
And then using a plug-in in Pro Tools, you can then...
It almost mutes, eliminates the ones
you can switch. You can just basically just change the thing.
That's cool.
But I quite often use it as a room mic, a stereo room mic, but I also use it for vocals and recording acoustic instruments, whatever.
I like that kind of workflow because you can make the decision afterwards once you kind of have the mix a little bit.
Exactly.
So that's different. I've never heard of that kind of microphone technology before.
I've
never seen after all these tours.
No, it's quite new. It's
I didn't even know that technology existed.
No, I think they're the only company that do it. I think they're made in Austria, I think.
Austria, yeah.
But yeah, they're great microphones. And
Interesting.
There's a YouTuber, Warren Hewitt, who rates
he likes our stuff. Hello, Warren Hewitt.
Does he? Yeah. I like Warren Hewitt.
I like Warren Hewitt. Produced like a pro. Marvellous. I hope he's watching because he does like our
does he? Yeah.
gram posts every now and then.
Well,
I hope you're watching.
I always watch his
I do too. He's
YouTube.
This is actually what inspired our show as well. So.
Right. Yes.
He's great. He featured my little bedroom studio back in 2013 or something.
Is that right?
Yeah, they did the little submit your studio and.
Cool.
And the funny thing is, I was right there at the front.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
That's really He's a really great guy.
He is.
Very inspiring.
Yeah. Good guitarist as well.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. Yes.
No, awesome. Here's a wonderful rack of goodies.
Yeah.
It's a bit of everything. You just grab what you want.
Yes, that's right. There's a few
that's the whole idea, isn't it?
A few diamonds, bits and bobs in there.
I kind of want something like this shelving, though. Where did you get the shelf? I mean, it's probably stock standard, but...
It is, yeah. Actually,
where did you get this one from?
My wife brought that into the relationship, actually.
Oh, okay.
She used to have a load of files in her office on it, and then we moved the offices around, and I said, oh, I could use that.
Yeah.
So, it's become like a utility shelf.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that's perfect for what it's...
Yeah.
For what it's doing. Excellent. Yeah. And, what else? I think we've pretty much covered most of the things. Is there anything
got the
don't forget
the Shure.
This. Yeah. I was looking back at some of our older tours, and there's one I mentioned. I was like, this isn't my to buy list, and I finally found one. I found one at Cashies actually.
Did you?
Yeah. When I bought mine, there was a listing on Trade Me and a listing on Cashies, and the Cashies one was a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
Can't believe it was actually at a thrift store, but it's great. I love.
It's a great mic.
I can't hype this mic enough.
No.
It's really good.
Yeah, well, Michael Jackson Thriller, you can't go wrong, can you? Really?
Exactly. Yeah. But it's just one of those things that's sort of like for live. I know that a lot of podcasts or live performances use this.
Yeah.
I know Francis, our director, uses it for his live stuff as well, but it's just really good for live.
It is, yeah, because it's not too sensitive. It doesn't pick up everything. You need to be reasonably close to it, but what you get is great.
And also built-in pop filter.
Built-in pop filter, and also a built-in distance filter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You
know how close to get.
This is where the thing is, and it's done the measurement for you, kind of thing.
That's right.
What are you using this for? Is this used a lot in the studio?
Yes,
or?
it is vocals, live vocals. If I'm recording live band, that'd usually be the thing. Depending on the vocalist, I mean, I'd usually try a couple of different vocal mics out. But if the whole band's recording, you can't really use condenser because it picks up everything else. But that tends to give a little bit of isolation. So yeah.
Another use probably is hi-hat. I've used this personally on my amps.
Right.
With a 57 or something like that.
Okay.
I've used it on a few recordings, and it just gives me a really nice option.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Let's probably not hype that too much. What about this D112, is it?
D112.
I've got one of these as well.
Yeah.
Is this how you mic your kit in this room, or do you use other options?
I normally use that, and often with another kick mic, which is this one here.
Okay, so you have two.
Yeah, this one just gives you a little bit more bottom end than that. This has got a scoop out of the low mids, which I love the sound of that.
Yeah,
and it gives you that real good.
The click attack of it.
Yeah, and I use an SSL plugin as well, which does a very similar thing, so you can get a really good punchy thing. Just have to be careful with phasing and stuff sometimes. I mean, I try.
Do you put it around here, kind of thing?
I usually have it, quite close on another stand nearby.
Yeah, something like that.
And then just blend. But yeah, sometimes you just got to be a bit careful with phase. But when it's close like that, it's not too bad.
What do you find is the best kind of mic positioning for this kit in this room when people are recording? Do you do multiple mics? Do you just strip it down?
I pretty much leave it set up as it is now.
Right, so it's all there ready to
then
go.
I'll use that as a room mic to pick up everything, because the room's reasonably dead, but it's got enough acoustic there just to give you a little bit of room feel, which is pleasing.
Yeah, no, it's a really pleasing. When you were playing that kit, the initial, like I was seated here, it was just a perfect kind of spot to have it. So yeah, it makes sense to have that sort of room mic position there.
Yep.
And no, that pretty much covers it. Should we have a quick look at the
vocal booth?
The vocal booth.
Yeah, sure.
Let's fast forward to that. Ooh, here's a little bathroom section. I'm sure you used that a little bit.
We could use that as well, yeah, that's right.
That's definitely a nice option.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, this is cool.
So we've got the old Rode NT1000 in here.
Yeah.
I sometimes use the Lewitt in here as well. But this is a great mic as well.
Wonderful.
The Rode's good.
Is your wife forgiving of using this as a multi-room kind of thing?
She's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good to have.
Yeah.
Someone supportive of that kind of thing. That's great. And have you used the bathroom?
No, I haven't. But I think about using it every single time I walk through it, because it has got a great. We toured one of our earliest episodes, Soundcard.
He's in a similar position where it's sort of a home/studio environment as well.
Yeah.
But he would run microphones and kind of just have two stereo pointing at the
Yes,
floor.
I've heard of people doing that, yeah.
Just so at the floor,
yeah.
to get that kind of natural reverb. And he used that as a natural kind of room mix.
Really?
With the other stuff that was a little... Because he had a dry-ish drum room.
Yeah.
So he had the surgical aspects of the drum, but then if he wanted a bit of reverb, natural reverb...
send a speaker
he would send the speaker with the two microphones. But, I mean, I would love to have a little space like this, because that's cool.
Because we've got the garage as well.
Oh, do you?
Which also I keep threatening to use for for things, but as yet I've not. I just love. I'd like to have like a week of doing something like that.
Yeah. Awesome. That's great.
Yeah. So if through there is the potential for another drum room. Yeah.
Okay. The hidden door.
There's cars in here, but
I can see a bit of potential in there. Yeah.
There's down that end there. I think we could have
in the garage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you never know. You heard of those stories? Is it one of those 70s bands where they use stairwells and?
Oh yeah, Led Zeppelin.
I was going to say Led Zeppelin, but I didn't want to be incorrect. But
big Led Zeppelin fan.
They just use natural stairwells or something, and then you just add that.
Yeah,
this is great. There's so many. I feel creative being here.
It's a nice feeling in here, isn't it?
It is.
Everybody says that. Yeah.
That's awesome. I feel really creative. So please, if you're in Devonport, come see Martin at Tamara Sound.
Yeah, be great to see you.
Yeah, be great. And what's your website?
tamarasound.co.nz.
tamarasound.co.nz. Check that out and say hi to Martin and tell him that you heard of him through musicstudios.co.nz. And this is a great end opportunity to say thank you for watching. Thank you for the tour.
Yes.
Finally, we did it.
Yeah, we did.
This is great. I've had a lot of fun today. This is I do feel really creative here. Especially as a singer-songwriter, I just feel like I can sort of sit here. You're very close proximity, and I can just get my ideas out.
Yep.
And away you go.
Exactly.
Awesome.
That's what it's all about.
Hey, remember, Kiwis and the world, and Warren Hewitt, and anyone else who's watching, remember to stay cool and stay creative. Thanks for watching musicstudios.co.nz.
Thanks,
Martin.
Goodbye.
See ya.
See ya.